As a sensitive, empathic person, have you ever reached a point where you kind of reach the breaking point and you just stop caring? Where you have given so much of yourself and then you kind of flip and you need to withdraw or numb or detach or just feel like you don't care anymore. Even though deep down you know you're someone who feels everything and you care about everything a lot, it's like a flip just gets switched. And it's not you being cruel, it's actually a shadow, the cold indifference shadow. And in this video, I'll show you why it shows up and how to heal it into healthy detachment. I'm Monica of Monica Gold Soul, and for most of my life, I cared way too much about everything and everyone else other than myself. But then when I was super burned out or overwhelmed, I'd flip into the opposite, into total indifference and feeling really cold and withdrawn. I'd overgive and then I would shut down and retreat from the world and do my best to numb out and feel nothing. And at first, I thought that it meant that there was this weird side of me that I felt a lot of shame about and I didn't really understand. But then I eventually realized like this is a shadow part of me, a shadow that comes out in my system's way of protecting me. And so let's talk about how this shadow shows up. As empaths, we care really deeply and so much that we often overgive or overcare or overfunction until it becomes too much. And then that kind of overwhelm builds up in our system, and our system has to protect us in some way. So then a flip gets switched, and we flip into numbness, indifference, detachment, like your body's emergency brake, because it can feel safer to feel nothing than to drown in giving, feeling too much. So it's like a pendulum swinging back and forth between giving and caring too much to where we're abandoning ourselves and our own needs to then withdrawing and not caring at all anymore, detaching, numbing to protect ourselves. So this can look like detaching or getting cold in relationships, even like ghosting, withdrawing from people when we feel too overwhelmed, and then later feeling really guilty, like, oh, I guess I don't care enough, or I don't have the capacity to be present. It can make you feel like some things are wrong with you for not being able to be kind and caring all the time. But it's not that you really don't care, it's that your system is protecting you in this unconscious way. So, how do you work with this shadow? Well, indifference is your nervous system's current defense. It's not a moral failure, and it doesn't have to be the defense that you use for your whole life. And ideally, defenses come out when we need them, right? When we've kind of pushed ourselves to that point where then we have to flip, that's when our defense comes out. So the goal is really how to find in Buddhism they call it a middle path, a middle ground between the pendulum swing, right? The giving too much and the withdrawn, finding a steady middle ground. And that's how to actually, heal the shadow in the first place so that you can come from a healthy balance instead of a pendulum swing where you're dysregulating yourself and then kind of swinging back into trying to fix that. So in this, when you find yourself in this, really ask yourself, what about this situation or what situation made me feel like I had to choose between, overgiving and then shutting down? Where was I overgiving or caring too much about someone else and not enough about myself? Was it something about someone else asking me to do these things where I need to set a boundary with someone? Or is it me feeling like I should do these things and I need to set a boundary with myself? This is how you transform that shadow into healthy detachment. Instead of going into total shutdown, you practice boundaries and discernment and ask yourself, like, is this mine to fix even in the first place? When someone else is having an issue, it can be really powerful to soothe yourself through the like, oh my God, I want to fix it. I want to jump in. Like, nope, I'm going to soothe myself and I'm going to let them handle it. I don't have to get involved and I'm going to stay with myself. And that is so empowering for yourself, but it's also actually empowering for the other person too. We often think that like, oh, if I just like let them sit in their pain and I don't jump in and fix it or heal them, that I'm being cruel. But actually that's kind of martyrdom. That's kind of like jumping in and meshing your ability. You know, you feel like you have to jump in and handle something else for someone. So that's draining you. And it's also not inviting someone else into how do they grow and expand and heal and fix for themselves, right? So staying with ourselves invites the other person to step up and be with themselves. And you can still show kindness and empathy for them while you do this. You don't have to like go cold and be like, you fix it, it's not my problem. Of course, that's probably not what you feel inclined to want to say to someone. You can still really be coming from empathy, right? I'm pretty sure it's a Brene Brown quote of empathy is not feeling for someone, it's feeling with someone. So I can be present with someone and empathize with them and show that I relate and support them and really like believe in someone else's power. Like, that sounds so hard and I know you've got it. What are a couple things you could do, right? Asking, almost like impromptu coaching someone else of like, I believe in you, I see you, and inviting them to step up. And then again, you don't want to like be overly giving, overly coaching someone, but just like, nope, I'm sticking with myself. I'm not over giving and I really believe in you. That sounds so hard and I believe in you and I know, that you can fix it for yourself and I don't have to rush in and help problem solve. It's a really big switch. It sounds really simple, but it's really difficult. And it's how you show that you still care really deeply without overgiving and drowning in someone else's emotions. How you take that middle ground. Because when you integrate this shadow, indifference can transform into discernment, and you don't have to swing between overgiving and shutting down and your nervous system being all on that roller coaster too. You learn how to stay present with yourself and compassionate with yourself, empathetic and compassionate with someone else without abandoning yourself, being the key factor here. So if you resonate with this shadow and you tend to find yourself on that pendulum swing roller coaster, I created a method called Transforming Shadows into Gold that's all about taking these shadow behaviors, shadow parts of ourselves, and realizing what's underneath it, healing what's underneath it, so that these shadows aren't just like leaking out, controlling our lives negatively anymore. We can take our power back and we can heal our shadows and actually find the gold or find those like golden nuggets in it, right? With this one, it's like, oh wow, the gold within that is, wow, it feels so empowering to be with myself and to have boundaries and to not jump in and fix someone else. There's power in that, in all of this, and transforming it is so powerful. So this is just one of the many shadows that show up for empathic people. Make sure to check out the rest of my videos in this playlist that's all about shadow healing for empaths. And check out my free masterclass where I show you the entire step-by-step formula for my Transforming Shadows into Gold method that really helps you transform your shadows into gold. You can find that for free at the link in the description. See you next time.